as we jump into game number 2 over here. Welcome to Arabia. Down south is MarineLorD in Mongols in blue, and to the north it's going to be Lucifron as Abbasids in red.
Oh man. Well, we discussed it quite a bit and think that Mongols are looking pretty strong on this one. We open with an early scout here while we see full economy approach by Mr. Lucifron. And he is not going for an early mill. So it's just playing the normal mining camp. And I'm curious to see. It feels like Mongols, a stable opening, feels very reasonable. And indeed, that's what's happening right now. No idea what Lucifron is going to play against that.
That is going to be a tough one, especially because with the Abbasids you need to go for that gold mine. So even just a couple of scouts harassing and burning it down, that's going to make life very, very difficult. Lucifron's town center is not gonna have the gold mine covered, so technically the scouts can harass that gold mine very nicely. It's likely scouts gold harassment into professional scouts.
How much I hate this. And this is some variance that I don't like in the game right now. How much it's a difference if your TC is covering your mining camp against Mongols or if it's not. I think you have to play completely differently and it's not in your control.
I totally agree with that. Especially civilizations that can't really go for a decent amount of scouts early on. They will struggle against this one big time. It's usually the go-to play against French with the Mongols, and it's very, very good against the Abbasids as well, because obviously just a couple of scouts harassing that gold mine could be fairly massive. And speaking of which, we do have the double scouts coming in.
Still no lumber camp, obviously something we don't need too early for Lucifron here. And now the first harassment most likely at the gold. And then Lucifron kind of has to rush out a barracks already. I don't like this spot. And it's only 2 minutes 40 seconds into the game. Okay, Lidakor typing an hour behind the scenes chat. So some long discussion and villager moving forward that you don't see. You see a lovely lumber camp, and next to the lumber camp, expect some blue dots moving forward, and now you can see it. Tower rush, very likely.
Indeed, Mongol Tower Rush is just one of the go-to plays of Mongols over here. Notably, one thing to discuss is that within the influence radius of that House of Wisdom, the buildings do receive a fire armor bonus, so it's a little more difficult to burn down that gold mine, but instead, it's probably more profitable at this point for MarineLorD to make a tower in between these two forests, because this is going to deny a ton of wood access from Lucifron.
Lucifron actually sees the tower, but what's his answer? Probably try to chop from the right-hand side, but that's not pretty.
Yeah, that's not going to work great. He's halfway up to Feudal Age, though, and when you're seeing this much aggression from MarineLorD, that means that he's delaying his Feudal Age a tiny bit, so I feel like for Lucifron, the go-to play is going to be a stable and then Horseman, and just try to launch a counterattack. You can also try to think about burning down that tower, but knowing Lucifron and knowing how much he likes this double stable Abbasids play, I can see that being an idea here.
Okay, now next tower being built, and I think this should be way better for MarineLorD. One more scout and the Khan. Oi, 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 oi.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for MarineLorD over here. One extra scout, a villager is also in here, and the Khan, of course. And with that, Lucifron is getting pushed away from there. The biggest question is, will he have enough wood to make any kind of production building? He's at 120 right now. I think he's gonna have just enough to make some sort of production building happen. But he's in a difficult position because his economy is being set back very heavily here.
Still okay when it comes to getting wood. Feudal Age is so much earlier. And now builds the barracks relatively late. Maybe something to put into his towers if he builds some defensive towers. Right now, still lots of pressure, and second tower will finish any second.
The problem with the barracks over here for Lucifron is that MarineLorD's next step is probably going archers with this one. MarineLorD is still not in Feudal Age, though. He's going for that Deer Stones with 3 villagers. But those towers are already doing a lot of work, and this feels like next to impossible to stop for Lucifron. He's about to start losing villagers on that wood line now.
Ay, 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 ay. This hurts. This hurts. I wanted to see Lucifron come up with a crazy strategy, with a competitive game. But this strategy right now just feels so extremely strong. MarineLorD will get the full control. Just the synergy of the extra scout with the Ovu, the cheap towers, or the aggression, the Khan. Just feels like so much is going right for Mongols right now. And even though Lucifron is not making a single mistake, in my opinion, he just feels so handcuffed.
You're spot on with that. Indeed, he has to relocate his lumberjacking operation. He had to make 3 lumber camps in this game already, which is a ton of investment for a player that barely has access to wood. And in general, his eco is just being harassed so much. And at this point, he's barely able to afford a couple of spearmen. But I wouldn't be surprised to see archers coming out the moment MarineLorD reaches feudal age. Let's see if he's going for a range to deal with those spearmen.
Indeed, that is going to be his choice. Was lacking a bit of wood, but and that will be another big task here for Lucifron, who is going for Ram though, and Spearman Ram will give you quite a reasonable timing at the start against those towers.
This might be life-saving for Lucifron, the fact that he can make rams with those spearmen immediately and he doesn't need a unique upgrade for that. On the other hand, that ram needs to start destroying towers because the only thing that Lucifron doesn't have is wood, and the ram is very expensive on that department. Looks like the spearman will take this fight over here. Nice micro by Lucifron to pull away the weak scouts, use the con to damage the spearman. So, given the circumstances, he's still taking good fights, and once again, the tower is up now with arrow slits, so those lumberjacks will keep getting harassed.
Oh, now the big question is, will we get a timing there? With the archers coming over before the ram will try to attack the towers. Big attack into the wood line.
Scouts are now moving in, and at this point, I think MarineLorD just trying to deny that wood line as long as possible, delay this ram push as much as possible, because every single second that he's slowing down Lucifron here is just an absolute pain for the red player.
Oh yeah, that's likely to be some spearman losses if he can't take down that ram. And then the second wave just feels so much stronger. Imagine now 4 archers showing up pretty soon.
Indeed, the archers are getting close. They do have the Yam speed network on those towers, so once they get close, they'll be able to close distance very fast. Ram still with pretty decent HP, but the spearmen are going down quite rapidly. I just feel like even if these towers are cleaned up, MarineLorD will have the window to rebuild them in the next 2 minutes.
Oi. More scouts are coming over. Archers are still lagging behind. I'm a bit surprised how slow those were.
Oh, Mangudai. Mangudai are coming in, and that's such a good move from MarineLorD because as good as archers are against spearmen, Mangudai are spectacular. They can run around, keep shooting at the spearmen. Now the ram is gonna go down, and MarineLorD will probably rebuild the tower on the left side, although Lucifron will try to counter tower this preemptively.
Oi. Oh, that's actually Mangudai makes so much sense. Something I would not have thought of. By the way, Lucifron is on stone at the top, so he wants to go for arrow slits himself. Let's see if he will find the timing. MarineLorD is aiming for exactly that.
Remember that we have seen multiple 2000er builds here from Lucifron in previous rounds, so MarineLorD probably knows what to expect, and he's going for that stone mine. The moment those Mangudai get close, Lucifron taps out. Absolute domination from MarineLorD over here, probably with the civilization advantage, but MarineLorD has just shown why the Mongol tower rush can be so deadly.
I know that developers, after developing a game for multiple years and finishing their deadline, need a break at some point. I hope the developers enjoyed their holiday, but it's time for a patch. I think we need to get something done there. This just feels, in this matchup, unstoppable.